On the news at 1, President Buhari approves release of 200 naira notes to be allowed as legal tender for 60 days. FEMA meets stakeholders on immediate remedy for fire outbreak at fuel stations. And subscribers of NTA Startimes to get improved signals.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Nolene Ebel-Ame with the news. We begin by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed his sympathy over the difficulties being experienced in the implementation of new monetary policies. He reassured Nigerians that strengthening the economy, enhancing security, and a blockage of leakages associated with illicit financial flows remained a priority of his administration in the last quarter of 2022. He authorized the Central Bank of Nigeria to redesign the 200. President Buhari seeks the understanding and patience of Nigerians during this transient phase of implementation and feels obliged to avail Nigerians a few critical points, saying there is the need to restore the statutory ability of CBN to keep a firm control over money in circulation. The proportion of a currency outside banks grew from 78% in 2015 to 85% in 2022. As of October 2022, therefore, currency in circulation had risen to 3.23 trillion, out of which only 500 billion was within the banking system, while 2.7 trillion remained permanently outside the system, thereby distorting the financial policy and efficient management of inflation. He said the huge volume of bank notes outside the banking system has proven to be practically unavailable for economic activities and by implication retard the attainment of potential economic growth. Notwithstanding the initial setbacks experienced, the evaluation and feedback mechanism set up has revealed that gains have emerged from the policy initiative. To further ease the supply pressure, particularly to our citizens, the President has given approval to the CBN that the old 200 naira banknotes be released back into circulation and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10, 2023 to April 10, 2023, when the old 200 notes ceases to be legal tender. He assures Nigerians that his administration will continue to assess the implementation with a view to ensuring that Nigerians are not unnecessarily burdened. In this regard, the CBN shall ensure that new notes become more available and accessible to the citizens through the banks. Elsewhere, the Federal Executive Council has approved over 26 billion naira for the replacement of some high-voltage transmission lines in parts of the country towards ensuring stability and efficiency in power supply for sustainable growth and development of the economy. The Council also approved the putting in place of electronic cargo tracking note scheme for the nation ports to eliminate illicit trade, imports and exports, as well as boost revenue generation. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Federal Executive Council meeting deliberated extensively on the memoranda submitted by the Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, on the challenges associated with the transmission of power in parts of the country. Describing the situation as counterproductive, the members unanimously agreed that a number of power lines across the country be replaced to afford a greater electric current carrying capability. The Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, explained that following the approval, 1,090 kilometers of high-voltage transmission lines will be affected across 13 states of the Federation.
These are existing lines which are being upgraded. The wires will be removed and new ones put in place. And if you are changing them, you have to also change the stands which are carrying the wires. So these ones are lighter and can carry more electricity. So it will improve the efficiency and the challenges that we are facing of constant tripping of the breakers due to overloading of these lines will be tremendously reduced.
The minister also secured approval on behalf of the TCN for the procurement of 20 transformer turns ratio analyzers.
They are state-of-the-art equipment used to test the reliability of transformers and switch gears at the total cost of 1.46 billion naira.
And determined to put a stop to under-declaration at the nation's ports, secure imports and exports, and ensure transparency, Transportation Minister Muazu Jaji Sambu has been given the go-ahead to put in place electronic cargo tracking node.
The deployment and implementation of this state-of-the-art ECTN scheme will ensure the elimination of loopholes in border operations and boost the revenue of the federal government in form of duties, port charges, and levies. Abet the problems of under-declaration, concealment, and wrong classification of cargo, which are the primary cause of revenue leakages, insecurity, and safety issues at the borders.
A consortium of 5 companies made up of 4 indigenous and 1 foreign technical partner have been contracted to effectively deploy the platform at no cost to government.
The concession is for a period of 15 years to enable the investors recoup their investments, and it is expected that this scheme will generate revenues to the federal government ranging from about $90 million per annum to a peak of about $235 million per annum, and would be shared in the ratio of 60% to the federal government and 40% to the consortium of companies.
And most importantly, the minister, Muazu Jaji Sambo, explained that the scheme will effectively track the nation's oil exports towards eliminating what he called the theft of Nigeria's highly valued black gold. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Thank you, Adamu. In Adan, especially those on the digital terrestrial transmission are now enjoying better signal services as a result of improvement and upgrade of its equipment in Cairo, Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia finds out this development.
The Nigerian digital TV revolution is gathering more momentum, thereby operators in the digital migration era has upgraded its mast antenna for improved services and reach, especially as well as neighboring Mararaba in Nasarawa State.
For many years now, the NTA Startimes platform has been serving the people. Now, the issue here is about the improved signal services that the NTA Startimes has provided in recent times.
The signal strength has been good, has really improved compared to when we had the lightning and the thunderstorm. So as it stands today, up to 30-40 kilometers, customers from Cairo axis can watch and enjoy Startimes.
We've experienced great improvements in our signal, especially the terrestrial signal, which is the antenna decoder. In the past, we've had a lot of signal issues, complaints from customers. Like 3, 4, 5 years back, our signal has been terrible. But in the recent times, like in the last 6 months, it has greatly improved.
Hajia Hadiza Ilyasu, a resident of Karo, is one of the Startimes subscribers who confirms the notice of improved signal services.
I used to watch Startime. Everything is working perfect. I love all the programs, all the channels, all is good. It's going very good.
Umaru Ado is not only a Startimes subscriber, but an installer who also observes the improvement.
Experience the signal improvement. Unlike before, they were having some challenges. The channels are cracking so badly. But as of today, when I observe it, I see the improvement.
Startimes officials reassured of more service improvement and delivery of the best to their teeming subscribers. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
The FCT Emergency Management Agency has been commended for its campaign to curb disasters in the Federal Capital Territory. The commendation was at a one-day stakeholders meeting with support agencies. Hawa Gimba reports that the roundtable deliberated on how to seek immediate remedy for fire outbreaks in fuel stations, among other disasters in the territory.
Fire outbreak, flooding and collapsed building are natural disasters experienced in the Federal Capital Territory in recent times. A situation which calls for attention. Stakeholders in this room are gathered to deliberate on the challenges, risk prevention, mitigation, as well as respond to calls. Representative of the Director General, FCT Emergency Management Agency, Florence Wenegeme, says incessant fire outbreaks in some fuel stations and the FCT is worrisome, and as such, the FCT Minister has mandated quick action on those who default in the rules and safety regulations in loading, transporting and offloading petroleum products.
Going forward, we will use this platform to review our performance in managing flood, fire, building collapse, and other emergency incidents in the Federal Capital Territory.
We have had incessant fire incidences in fuel stations towards the end of last year and the beginning of this year. And this has made the Honorable Minister of FCT extremely uncomfortable.
Representative of the Executive Secretary, FCDA, Richard Yunana Dauda, says they will not relent in providing technical support to the agency.
The fire outbreak, the Executive Secretary and FCDA will always mobilize development partners and others who can assist putting out fires.
There were goodwill messages from representatives of the Federal and FCT Fire Service, NEMA, NIMET, and the FCT Development Control. Others are NISL, Red Cross, FCT Police, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the FCT Water Board, and other stakeholders who all agreed on standard procedures in fighting disasters. Hawagimba, NTA News.
Talking security now, efforts to check criminal activities of robbers and hoodlums around Goodluck Jonathan's Expressway and other dark spots around Area 11 Abuja yielded results Wednesday morning with the arrest of 2 criminals. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
This traffic gridlock along Goodluck Jonathan Way is as a result of the robbery incidents that happened this morning. And according to eyewitness, this has been happening on a daily basis.
The incident occurred when a robber armed with a dagger attacked one Miss Victoria Ono along the Goodluck Jonathan Way, disposing her of her handbag,
containing valuables. According to eyewitnesses, the robbery was carried out at about 8:30 in the morning as the victim was heading to work. The robber snatched the bag and tried to make a quick getaway, but was pursued by a security officer within the vicinity and was caught while trying to escape through a tunnel.
This morning I was on my way to work and I met a lady here and some crowd of persons that she was robbed by some guys who used to stay over here. And over time I've noticed their presence, and to some time I even reported some policemen.
Walk really fast. So we're walking really fast, and she was looking back to see if the person is following us or not. So me, I was just going up the road. Before I knew it, I don't know where the person came from. A man just came to my front and was like, "Give me your bag." I can't even. I just knew I stepped out from that covert. I stepped to the road.
The victim revealed that the bag contained valuable items, which include 2 phones, 4 ATM cards, her voter's card, and some cash.
It's a pack where I used to put everything, so I just placed it because of the ATM card I picked from home this morning. That was why that pack just followed me. So that was what was inside with my pen, then my ID card. Because I work with one of the financial institutes, my ID card is inside. I can't even go to work because without the ID card, I can't even work or anything.
Security officers stationed at the Ministry of Women Affairs immediately followed up by combing the area, leading to the arrest of 3 more hoodlums. They have since been taken into custody for further interrogation. Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
You are watching NTA Channel 5 News at 1 p.m. and still to come on the news. New Director FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board takes over affairs of leadership. This and more shortly.
News as a commodity is our trade. When it breaks in the FCT and environs, our team of professional reporters will definitely be there. NTA Channel 5 Abuja News, using news to connect the grassroots people with the newsmakers and uniting the nation. We serve you the depths of news in politics, economy, education, health, security, infrastructure, even in times of emergencies. Always join our news build at 1 and 7 p.m. daily to be informed of the latest and current happenings. Our on-air personalities are the professionals you desire on the screen. NTA Channel 5 Abuja News, telling you the real news, verifiable and factual, with no room for fake news.
Thank you for staying with us on the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5. With its booming young population that accounts for about 60% of all the continent's jobless, Africa needs to create about 15 million new decent jobs yearly to boost intra-African trade through industry, business level competitiveness. Tessie Omeri reports on the role of technology in driving small startups.
Africa industrialization has been a clamor on the continent's governments to renew their commitment towards inclusive and sustainable industrialization and economic diversification. As the Black World's development, survival and success story depends on how seriously and important its leaders take industrialization and implementation of its policies. It focuses on emerging startups evolving through information technology.
It is important for our country to industrialize in order to provide employment opportunity for their future and present teeming youths.
Many people who start today, they start from zero, from scratch, and today now they are something that they are known to the whole world. So it's not until you have billions of naira before you can start industry.
For Mustafa Suleiman, a cobbler in the UTC area of Abuja, who is dedicated to this trade, he maintains that enabling business environment is all he needs with the right technology to enhance production.
Some boy who are teaching them plenty, why they open their own different size safe. So up to now I still teach people.
Observers say aspiration begins with government implementing national industrial policies that stimulate investments into sectors that are both competitive and labor-intensive.
Far back then, you have to sketch out congratulatory messages, but now with the inventory of system, you just sit down, you type, and then print, and that reduces the labor, the work. So if you are to produce, informally you are producing 2-3 in an hour. Now you can produce at least 100.
We have all the natural mineral resources in Nigeria that we can pick and use in our local industries here. I think that is the best.
Instead of building those industries outside the country, they should bring it down to Nigeria, where the communities and the cities will be developed.
Proliferation of industries, observers say, will not just boost the economy, but will bring about innovations. For instance, this is the top-notch quality shoe produced here in Nigeria. To be precise, here in UTC. People like Mustafa Suleiman are saying that with industrialization, they will be better off. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
A new director, Malam Abubakar Adamu Ivuti, has taken over affairs of leadership of the Federal Capital Territory Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board. A statement signed by the board PRO, Muhammad Lawal Aliu, quoted the new director as charging staff to be honest and prudent in the discharge of their duties. While taking over mantle of leadership, director of the board, Malam Abubakar Ivuti, stressed the need for staff to be dedicated to their duty and shun any act capable of tarnishing the image of the administration and the country at large. He called for the cooperation of all staff and other stakeholders to ensure the success of the Hajj exercises in line with the desire of the present administration, adding that the administration will not condone any act of corruption and indiscipline. Malam Ivuti, however, reassured of the administration's commitment to adding more value to the management and welfare of pilgrims, as well as provide first-class services to the FCT contingent by ensuring hitch-free Hajj exercises in 2023 and beyond. The outgone director, Malam Muhammad Nasiru Malam, who sought the forgiveness, the support and cooperation accorded to him by the staff throughout his tenure. We now join Miriam Emeka Amadi for update on the globe this week. Hi, Miriam.
Hello, welcome to the Globe this week, a foreign news segment that offers unique perspective on some stories that made headlines this week. I am Miriam Emeka Amadi. Scotland's first female minister, Nicola Sturgeon, has resigned after 8 years in the job. Sturgeon said, as she announced her resignation on Wednesday, that the decision comes from a deeper and longer-term assessment after wrestling with it for weeks. She became the leader of the ruling Scottish National Party, SNP, in the wake of 2014 independence referendum, when the country voted 55% to remain as part of the United Kingdom. Sturgeon will remain in her position until her successor is elected as Scotland's first minister and will remain a member of the Scottish Parliament. Almost 1 year into the Russian-Ukraine war, hundreds of thousands have died and nearly 17.6 million have been left in dire need of humanitarian assistance, while the Ukrainian government remains steadfast in the fight against Russia. Kyiv has also been confronting another enemy that has been gnawing within the country for years: corruption. During the last few years, Ukrainian authorities raided the home of the country's former interior minister and sacked several senior government officials accused of bribery. A head-on collision between a bus and a cash-in-transit van left 21 people dead on Monday on a major road in South Africa's northern Limpopo province, with dozens taken to hospital, transport officials and emergency medical companies said. After the crash, the bus rolled from a bridge on N1 freeway into a river below, said the emergency response team, whose paramedics were on the scene. 3 people were found deceased by the roadside and 16 down by the river. All were declared dead on arrival, emergency response team said in a statement. The death toll from earthquakes goes past 40,000. Turkish authorities say 35,418 people have been killed in the country, while more than 5,800 people are dead in Syria, according to the UN and the Syrian government. 10 international organizations from migration trucks carrying humanitarian assistance have passed through the Bab al-Salam, crossing into the northern western Syria from Turkey. The World Health Organization describes the earthquakes in Turkey as the worst natural disaster in a century. And that's it on The Globe this week. Stay for the continuation of the news.
Next is Sports Brief.
The Super Falcons of Nigeria lost 1-0 to Mexico in their first game at the 2023 Revelation Cups in the early hours of Thursday. Kiana Palacios scored the only goal of the game for host Mexico in the 85th minute. The Falcons have now lost 6 straight games, with their last win coming against Cameroon in the quarterfinals of the 2022 Women's African Cup of Nations in Mexico. In another development, the Flying Eagles rounded up their preparations for the 2023 African Under-20 Cup of Nations with a 6-1 thumping of Moroccan club Kaukab Athletic at the Complex Sportif Sidi Mohamed Casablanca. The 7-time African still on football, 5 times world champions Golden Eaglets will leave their training camp in Abuja for their different destination due to the general elections in the country. The Nigerian presidential polls will take place on 25th February, which sets the ball rolling for the country's general elections. Elsewhere, Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare will flag off the National Cross Country race this weekend in Jos, Plateau State. Race coordinator Tony Osheko said Dare is fitting choice to flag off the historic race, not only because of his position as a leader of the sport family in Nigeria, but also because he is the first sport minister in almost 40 years to show genuine concern about developing distance running in Nigeria. With Sports Brief, Francis Kabile, NTA News.
And just before we go, a recap of some top stories. We reported that President Buhari has approved the release of 200 naira notes into circulation and says it should be allowed as legal tender for 60 days. And FCT emergency